Fuck off, motorbikes. Just thought it was time to make another little video. Thank you guys for people who are reaching out. Nicole assures me that not a single fucking person on the planet believes me, and that everything I put out is just making me look more manic and more worse, and it's just digging my hole deeper. So, you know, she's very certain of a lot of things that aren't really fucking based in reality. But, you know, for those people that I know have spoken to me directly that actually believe me, thank you. Because the hardest part, well, there's nothing about this journey's been easy, right? Like, for years, I've just been trying to say as calmly as I can that my wife gets into a rage cycle where she just fucking abuses me and attacks me relentlessly for hours on end, day after day after day, about the most inane shit that's fucking in her head. It's not, you know, based in reality. So, you know, I'm actually very used to no one believing me and no one listening to me. It's like, I'm still like appalled at how difficult it is for people to wrap their head around the idea that a woman can abuse a man. Like, I can't still understand why what I'm saying seems so abstract. And I can't understand when I can substantiate it all and I've got it all recorded, because I've fucking felt this way for 4 years, you know. I just can't understand what language I need to fucking speak in, because, you know, I do have, again, like a bunch of really close people to me now who are fully on board, who 100% support where I'm coming from, and they know that I'm not making it up, and they know that fucking Nicole probably needs help, and they know that this whole situation's kind of fucked. But equally, there's a whole bunch of people that just like look at me wearing pink fucking glasses and fucking smoking a joint and go, oh, this guy's clearly cooked. So I think I mentioned in one of the other videos recently, I don't really plan these out, right? Like, I fucking have a vague idea what I'm going to update on, but then I riff, okay? So, like I said, like, this whole fucking conceptual barrier for people to realising that women can abuse men, or that I could possibly abuse, like, I just don't get it. Like, people assure me that it's fucking in my head, right? And, like, it's just not. Like, it's just fucking not. And this is the whole point. Like, I recorded all this because I know it fucking shows that she's abusive. And sometimes people just hear fucking yelling on those things and they go, oh, well, you know, your wife's clearly worried about you and you're bipolar and you're not on your meds, and fucking she's just screaming at her how fucking worried she is, and, you know. And I just come back to the overarching message of all of my recordings of what I'm saying to Nicole is, please leave me the fuck alone. Please stop attacking me. Please stop fucking yelling at me and ranting at me and fucking accusing me of weird shit. Stop waking me up to fucking yell at me. Stop waking me up with hostility. Stop shitting on me to everyone. Stop fucking convincing everyone that I'm manic. Right? She's so committed to her narrative because she believes it. That's the fucking problem, right? Everyone is convinced that I'm manic. If you actually know anything about mania, like, fucking ask yourself a couple of questions, right? So one thing I do know, after having been in hospital and meeting quite a few friends and some very close friends that have features of their illnesses that you could describe as manic, i.e. they lose their shit sometimes and go fucking troppo and start fucking yelling at people and fucking start defending themselves and start, you know, basically pushing back on everyone that's looking at them like they're fucking crazy, right? It is a real thing. Like, there are people who get into a manic spiral, whether that's a short-term spiral or a longer-term spiral. You know, I've got one good friend that can speak to me for 3 hours straight without fucking taking a breath and without any real awareness of whether I'm engaged in what she's saying or not. You know, I support her because she's my friend, and I listen to her because she's beautiful and clever and funny and intelligent, but at the same time, clearly I've seen people who are in what you call a manic state. And, you know, that's just not what I am at all. I've always been, I think, demonstrably calm. I think I've always been able to plan long-term fucking things that make my life better. I don't just live impulsively in the moment. Any risks I take are calculated and planned and mitigated as well as I possibly can, you know, because particularly the mountain sports stuff, I don't go into any of that with a blasé attitude. I know that death and fucking injury are just a second's fucking inattention away at any point. So I'm very careful. I'm also at the moment, just because again, Nicole has some narrative in her head about where she thinks I'm at and what I'm doing and where my life is at. You know, I am actually on the run from her, as you know. She doesn't know exactly where I am. She might have an idea where she thinks I am, but the good news for me and everyone else is that it doesn't actually matter. Even if she knows exactly where I am, there's fuck all she can do about it. You know, she feels like I'm not doing my day job, which is just not true. I've got fucking no problems doing my day job because I log on and I get my work done and I do meetings and I send emails and I fucking do Microsoft Teams fucking things just like every other fucking remote worker these days, just like the way I've been working for like the last 10 to 15 years. She's flabbergasted that because I'm so manic that I could possibly be holding down a job. It's like, well, I'm doing more than holding it down. I'm doing a fucking quality job and people I work with like respect me and we're all working well together. So, you know, these things that she's so sure of, that she puts in the public narrative about me being so broken. If you've ever known someone that's truly manic, right, the things they're talking about do definitely seem real to them. And there may be nothing you can do to convince them that what they're talking about is in their head. But those narratives, they don't last for years, right? Like, I don't act manically. I'm not doing anything that doesn't make perfect sense to me, you know. So at the moment, again, I'm on the run from my wife. So I've gone somewhere, firstly, where she can't get me. You know, again, even if she knows where I am, and I'm confident she doesn't, because she has no true grip on reality. Even if she knows where I am, she can't get me. I'm somewhere where I can make my money work effectively while I'm trying to figure out the next steps in my life. I'm sleeping well because I'm not being woken up and screamed at. I'm exercising daily like I've always tried to do. I'm doing some beach Ks at the moment. It's wonderful. Swimming, doing yoga every day. I'm eating really well. I'm eating fresh, clean, like protein sources and meat sources, like proteins and fats, you know, meats, barbecue meats, veggies, fresh fruit. I meditate every day. You know, one of the main things I love to do is actually do yoga on the beach. So, I'm doing a couple of like yoga sessions with stretching and like foam rolling and tissue work every day. I'm doing all these things, right? And I always this is just what I like to do. I'm not doing anything unusual for me. I'm doing things that are very consistent for me. But none of those are manic, right? If you've ever met someone that's manic or like fucking actually do some research of your own. I don't think necessarily you understand it because you've heard this term bipolar. Bipolar's just the way that they describe anyone who's gone from being fucking depressed to being excited, right? And the idea is that stuck in Nicole's head is that because I was depressed, therefore I'm now manic. And I've never disputed I was depressed. I was extremely unwell at one point through the year in 2022, and I needed all kinds of care and support. Unfortunately, the fucking cavalry coming to save me fucking trampled me half to death, and they sent me to fucking hospital for my own good for a condition I didn't have. And I pushed back against that the whole way through hospital. Again, I've got it all on fucking record. everything that they could find wrong with me that whole time I was in hospital. The basis of their fucking concerns were the comments, concerns, complaints, and statements made by my wife Nicole and my father Frank. Everything points back to them. And some of the stuff in the bureaucracy playlist, I've actually still got some more stuff I need to publish there. Because again, I'm actually trying to live a full life as well as do my day job, as well as manage my business from here, as well as sell that business, as well as get this YouTube thing spinning. You know, we're at 10,000 hours or something of views now, which is pretty good. Starting to pick up some momentum. Yeah. So I'm doing all this stuff, right? Very deliberately. I've been planning it since December 2022. I've been telling Nicole, my parents, my brothers and sisters, my friends, consistently since that time, that I've recorded all this as abuse and that I intend to firstly clear my name, and secondly try and overturn some shit that's really fucking dangerous for us all. Try and get my kids clear of this and help be able to support and parent them. None of this is accidental, right? I've got 85 videos uploaded at the moment. I've got a shitload more still to create and mix together and put out there. But it's quite time consuming, right? It's not something that I've had to do it in the background. I've had to do it like basically stealthily while I was in Australia when Nicole was sleeping, or you know, when she wasn't paying attention. I'd work on the channel and I'd start getting all this shit ready. Manic people aren't that fucking organised. Like, they're just not. Like, I know you can do some things, like, probably, like, fucking, depends on how functional a person is, right? Like, when you're motivated, you can get shit done quickly. But sustaining that level of control and structure and long-term planning, I don't know, talk to some mates who do psychology or psychiatry, even if you're fucking brave enough to talk to those fucking charlatans. Like, or just do some Wikipediaing. Like, they aren't really features of manic behaviour, right? So, you know, I maintain forever that I don't have any fucking mental condition that's relevant here. I've said already I was fucking, had a breakdown and I was depressed and extremely stressed and sleep deprived, and I was not in a healthy place, but I've maintained forever that I wasn't ever fucking manic, and I don't ever believe I was, and I don't believe I am now. So, my new studio's not quite as fucking quiet as the old one, but it's also much nicer and it's actually quite romantic. You know, again, people think they know me and they don't. For anyone who hasn't listened to the video I've titled Calendar of the Flowers, or the track Calendar of the Flowers, I think that's kind of a keystone on this journey. That particular moment was, again, unplanned and unscripted. When I called Nicole just a couple of days ago to talk to her, I was doing it purely out of concern for her and to try and help her get some comfort with things that she's very uncomfortable about. I went into that not knowing where it was going to go. I tried to actually close that conversation 3 or 4 times. You'll see on the video or the recording, I'm like, okay, I'm fucking just about done, let's go. And just as I was about to try and close it, my partner Rose joined the conversation, and I wasn't expecting that. She'd been sitting very quietly, patiently listening to Nicole repeatedly call me manic, and strongly disagreeing with that, knowing me, you know, as well as she does. You know, I wasn't expecting to introduce her to the world in that way, or for her to introduce herself, but she's a beautiful soul and I love her dearly, and everything she said, I thought she said with grace and love and humility and genuine care for me and Nicole and our kids, and trying to get the best outcome possible. And everything that she said that I heard made me very comfortable that she's represented what she sees well. Now they went on and had a long conversation by themselves that I trust Rose, so went on a limb and decided, okay, I'm going to let my new lover talk directly to my wife. What could possibly go wrong? But again, I trusted her, and Rose wanted to have the conversation in private, so that conversation will always just remain between Nicole and Rose because it was not recorded. I don't know what Nicole will have taken from all that, but I'm pretty sure her take will be, well, of course I've fucking fallen in love with a woman because I'm bipolar and I'm manic again, and this is what happened last time, and I just need to spend 4 more months and then I'll be out of this manic episode and this will all go away and I can just take lithium again and we can live happily ever after, and I'll never question whether she's the perfect partner for me ever again, because I won't need to, because I'll be on drugs then, right? This is Nicole's narrative. Again, a lot of people don't really know me. I believe I know me. I think I'm self-reflective. I think I'm introspective. I actually acknowledge things where I know that I could be a better human and that I need to do better and that I can work on, and I actually do try to fucking make myself a more rounded, loving, caring, intelligent, capable person, because that's what I want to do, right? So all the people who think they know me might go, well, holy shit, Michael's really fucking lost the plot now because, his new partner has just intervened on this recording, and kind of, again, it's another very public thing that's a very private thing, that's personal thing that's now very public. So, for people who think they know me, they might think this is really unusual behaviour for me, but for a lot of, especially my bloke mates, like a lot of the mates that I have had for years, almost all of them have heard me say multiple times that I've always had a life goal to hook up with a really sweet, smoking hot black girl. And that's not a racist thing, I just always think black girls are really sexy, and I always I always thought maybe that was what my future was going to be. I don't know, it sounds weird, but so when I met Rose, neither of us were expecting to fall in love. We weren't in any way looking for love. We just met each other, and some things are just meant to be. So, from where I'm sitting, I'm actually, although I've fled from her, I'm also in the middle of like a really loving, romantic, beautiful time in my life with a human that is amazing to me. And I'm planning to spend a good chunk of my life with her if she'll have me, and I don't think we have any plans to do anything else. So, Nicole will rationalise this as being manic. I 100% guarantee that. And probably my family will think the same way, and maybe some of my friends will think, oh my God, I can't believe not only did Mick fucking make that big ruckus and publicly attack his wife and make their whole lives fucking at risk and high fucking peril, not only did he do that, but then he fucking abandoned his wife and his kids, and he went overseas and he fell in love with a woman and went and lived somewhere else, right? That'll be justification as mania, as far as Nicole's concerned. There's nothing about it that looks manic to me. I've had 25 years of loving someone that couldn't give me the love I needed back. Someone who's not physically compatible with me, I would say. Someone that's not tender and loving and gentle. Someone that doesn't understand femininity or tenderness or the art of seduction. Someone that, I do love, and love's a trap sometimes. I stayed in that relationship for probably, I reckon, fucking at least 10 years too long. Maybe longer, maybe, I've got my beautiful kids, and that's the reason for us being a union between Nicole and I. And it was, their children hopefully will live on and bear our testimony to the beautiful work we brought the world in Zara and Axel. But there's no part of me that ever wants to return to Nicole. There's a little tiny part of me that wants to go back to my house and kids in Australia and live out my life there, but to be honest, thanks to the dearth, the complete absence of support I've received from the people closest to me, and no one's actually, not many people have actively fucked me over, don't get me wrong, but just everyone's standing back while I'm drowning. It's hard to really feel like I have a physical connection with most of the people that I've ever met now, because a few people have actually reached out really clearly and just said how they hear what I hear on the tapes and they understand where I'm coming from, and they're deeply sorry and wish they could do help in some way, right? There are people that fully believe me, but if you all want to think I went mad and met an African girl and moved across the world with her and lived happily ever after farming coconuts and cows and stuff, like, if you think that's manic, then look, just keep living in ignorant bliss, I guess. If you're that convinced that's manic, I'm going to say I'm living a pretty good life right now. Making long-term plans that are sensible and rational. I'm planning for a life of happiness and making the most of this one fucking chance I get on this planet. Nicole doesn't have any plans. Listen to Kalinda the Flowers. She's surprised by my questions about, what do you want, where are you going to go? And she's like, well, I don't want to be married to you. I'm like, cool, I've been trying to be not married to you for 5 years, so we can do that. What else have you got? She doesn't have a plan. She doesn't have a picture. She doesn't even know there's a blank page there with a question on it, because she's stuck in her loop that everything was perfect and then Mick went psycho and now everything's fucked. That's her loop, okay? So I'll disentangle her from the marriage fucking part of that loop, and we'll work out a way to make all our assets and stuff, not burn them all and actually put them to work for us so that we can hopefully get some money paid back to us for the rest of our lives from what we've done so far, But again, none of this seems irrational to me. If anyone doesn't understand why I've done any of this still, it's because you're just not listening to me, that she abuses me and I won't take it anymore. And now I've fallen in love with someone who has changed my life in a short amount of time, just by the knowledge that there's a human there that is caring and loving and sweet and kind, and we understand each other. Because I haven't had that in a long time. A long time. I hope one day Nick can have a happy life. She's not going to get there until there's some real realisation that she does have a problem and she needs help, She still thinks in 4 months this is all going to go away because I'll no longer be manic. I'm like, well, 4 months is a long time, but there's a decent chance I'll be living in a whole different country by then, nowhere near Australia. And, the only fucking rub here is that I have 2 beautiful kids in Australia that I want to at least be around and help them grow up. I don't necessarily, right now, the chances of me ever getting custody of them are fuck all, because she wins that argument every time, because I'm manic, off my meds, and she's the wife that loves me the most, and she's just trying to care for me. So I lose that every time. If I can win that battle, then I can figure out how me and my kids and Nicole can still have some kind of life where we work together. But Nicole still thinks I'm going to come home and hang out with her so we can figure out how to divide the house and everything. I'm like, which part of like, I never want to see you again, don't you understand? Like, I've told her I never want to be in her presence. I've told her this dozens of times, and I've got it on record. You know, I ask people who think this is all very untidy in public, and they're like, I really wish you hadn't done it this way, Mick. I'm like, well, how many times precisely should I have to say, please fuck off and leave me alone? Like, I've never once attacked her. I've never once threatened her. I've never once laid a finger on her. But I have asked her repeatedly for 5 years to please fuck off and leave me alone. And that might just mean, like, if I'm in the middle of gardening, don't come out and fucking shout at me about something. Like, either come out and talk to me while I'm gardening and then I can help you with your fucking concerns, or just fuck off and leave me alone. Like, I'm trying to, like, plant a fucking garden. Like, just let me do it. And this is the people don't get, that she'll interrupt whatever I'm doing all times, day and night, and just fucking tear into me about whatever's in her head. So, you know, again, because I've chosen not to accept that, she says I'm manic, because I never had a problem with our marriage until I was manic. This is Nicole's narrative. And so, again, with my narrative is I've never had mania. You can't treat me for something I've never had. I've never done anything that I believe is manic. I have done plenty of things that she alleged were manic, and when everyone was told ahead of time that I was manic, then everyone looks at you fucking strangely. So everything you do is suddenly manic. It's the most bizarre, outdated, poorly fucking thought through understanding of a problem that I think I've ever come across. Because again, I'm speaking English. I grew up in Australia. I only really speak one language and a fucking handful of being able to order beers in other countries, right? But, like, I've been abused and I want it to stop. Like, but that's not many words. There's not much there that can really be misinterpreted, except everyone's like, oh, well, you're only saying that because she told us you're crazy, you know? Like, we already know that you're crazy. So it's like, you know, I spent 5 years trying to fucking get out of this little trap, and with limited success. You know, Nicole tells me I've achieved nothing, and I'm like, well, okay, that's sure, but again, I'm getting a fucking fair bit of viewership on that YouTube channel, and each one that I'm putting out is getting, you know, like a solid fucking chunk of people coming back, and I have, again, multiple people who I know are actually following along and keeping up with the narrative. And this is where I've only released the tip of the iceberg. People, you know, Nicole assures me that these tapes of her screaming at me and harassing me constantly in the middle of the night don't exist. I'm like, yeah, they exist. They're in my cloud accounts, and coming soon to a channel near you, they're going to be on my fucking YouTube channel. I mean, I haven't manufactured any of this. This isn't like some elaborate fucking hoax where I've recorded all this and fucking AI fucking manipulated it. You know, this is just me hitting record on my phone camera, on my phone voice recorder. That's it. Like, you know, so she'll maintain that this is just normal conversations. She's just talking to me. I'm like, well, okay, well, you know, I can give you 10 hours back to back of you just fucking abusing shit out of me. And, you know, I do fight a battle if some of the videos get taken down, particularly the ones where we're shouting at each other. I think I have some appeals in process. Some have actually been successful. So it's like a process I've got to go through every time a video is taken down. I can either re-upload it and try and cut out the bits that they're worried about. Like, I'll edit it so that, you know, that sections where I'm like fucking like calling her a cunt repeatedly, like, I think those things probably stand against me. I'm like, yeah, but like the full sentence was, fuck off and leave me alone, you horrific cunt. I'm like, I didn't just call her a cunt out of nowhere. I wasn't just sitting there, she sweetly just made me breakfast and I called her a cunt. It's not what's happening. What's happening is I've told her already 500 times, leave me the fuck alone. You're abusing me and I won't fucking accept it anymore. So again, I don't know what that number of times is. Like, I think, honestly, the way that your channel's going, I think it's going to grow to a good place. I think I've got plenty of content that's going to help fill in these blanks for people, and once the acceptance is there that what my concerns are actually true, and that the point I'm trying to make here is actually a point that should be listened to, and hopefully this stops being about me and Nicole, and I can make it about a much bigger problem. But I'm going to stop rambling now, because otherwise, you know, I'm accused of being manic and stuff. I might actually go and have a sleep. I think my queen is having an afternoon beauty nap, and I might go join her and, you know, just manically contemplate how much I am in love. I'm going to finish on one note though, that this is just all from my perspective, right? Like, I feel like I don't know how I managed to fucking capture all this from the start. I kind of feel lucky because somehow I'm going to be able to expose just this whole fucking problem we've got with our society, where once anyone's accused you of having any kind of mental illness, then you're just treated with huge suspicion. And I know other friends that this dynamic is a direct thing that feeds into their problem, because from then on, once all your friends and family know that you've been in a shit place at one stage, or that you've made, you know, you've been manic or depressed or fucking erratic or anxious or any of these things, you know, insomnia, all this stuff, once they know that you've got a problem there, then everything you do is through that lens. So, you know, one of Nicole's favourite things is she'll ask me, are you okay? And she'll ask me that like fucking 20 times. And this is something that a friend picked up on the other day. Is like just the act of just constantly asking you, are you okay? Like doing it 20 times in the course of an hour. Who isn't going to get pissed off with that? Right? And so then my problem is, and everyone who's got this fucking stigma and a stamp on their head that says insane, then when they like push back and go, you know what, can you stop fucking asking me if I'm okay, I'm fine, can you please fuck off? You know, the second that they get a little bit, fucking their back up against the wall, or their nose out of joint, once that tone's in their voice, then everyone's like, whoa, 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 fuck, whoa, whoa. It's like, you're skewered. You can't defend yourself. You can't fight back against it. If you raise your voice further, then they go, well, you know, we're just going to have to ring Dr. fucking such and such, and they're going to have to adjust your medication. And if you push back on that, then the threat becomes, well, you know, I've called the ambulance and they're going to come here and talk to you with the police in tow. And this happens to people I know. A good friend of mine is fucking... I'm not going to talk about that now. It's too fucking heavy for today. But people get in this trap, and the trap is fucking reinforced by everyone who just has such a fucking low-level understanding about what they're talking about. You stop listening to what people are saying and suddenly start judging them, and you stop your brain. So for the sake of everyone else, like, you know, most of the people that might be watching along with this that know me personally, like, I know that there's people now that have nothing to do with me, like personally, or Nicole, that are watching this because it's starting to get interest outside of just people who know me directly, right? Which is what I want. I needed to get to that point. But, you know, most of the people that know me well are probably unlikely to ever see me physically again. At this point, like, I'm okay with that. Like I said, I don't hold grudges. I don't want to hold on to negative energy in the past, but most of you have done nothing to make me feel like I ever need to see you again. And I'm just saying it like it is. I don't want anyone to feel bad unless one day they wake up and realise that they did just fucking let me get relentlessly tormented for fucking years and they did nothing to help. You know, I won't begrudge anyone feeling a bit shitty about that, but you know, the chances of us actually seeing each other in the flesh, really slim. But for the people that are on my side and have my back and that have demonstrated that they can actually open their mind and consider what I'm saying, then for all those people, I can't wait to catch up and fucking, I don't know, get some beers, smoke a dope skin and make some music, you know, like, I have always intended, again, this is, Nicole should agree, I've always said for years that I never want to live my whole life out in Canberra, and that I want to use Canberra as a base, but to explore other parts of the world and to live whole different lives. And I never wanted to just sit and do like a government job in Canberra forever. And I mean, not shitting on you if that's your dream, but it's never been my dream. And I'm now kind of actively living my dream. So again, I mean, if this all seems manic to you still, like, I don't know, I can't probably help you, I can't probably ever shake you of that, but I think a little bit of book learning would probably help you a bit, maybe, because, again, I know manic people. It's not me. Anyway, I'm gonna go smoke this doob skin, and I might go and cuddle up next to my queen, manically, but to sleep like gentle, you know, like gently sleeping in a manic way. Let's just to make everyone feel comfortable that, you know. All right, peace.